I love Blade Runner. The performances in that are just phenomenal. You gotta like Empire Strikes Back, being a child of the 70s and early 80s. Notice it's very specific. It's Empire, it's not Star Wars. Star Wars to me is actually a little dull, truly, when you watch it today, but Empire. And it's this classic movie. You know, the good guys are supposed to win, not lose, and so it's this real spin on your head, right? But I like the darkness of Blade Runner, but from a childhood perspective, it would have to be Empire Strikes Back. A favorite scene is when Richard Dreyfuss takes Terry Garr out, and he's just experienced whatever it is that he's experienced for the first time, and he's got to show her, and he takes her out, and he's kissing her, and she's trying to get his attention, and as they turn around and they're in this embrace, the last thing he does is he looks up at the sky. I think that scene says so much without saying anything at all. So to me, that's the most clever point of the movie of, here's this guy who has already detached himself. He doesn't know that he's detaching, but that's the moment that he's abandoning the old and going off on whatever this adventure would be. Close Encounters, truly the whole one-take Cary thing was true. Most everything I did was in the first or second take. There was no scene that frustrated me because Spielberg didn't allow anything to frustrate me. It was all, it's playtime, and let's play. The only scene I have with Richard Dreyfuss, we're on the side of the mountain and they're waiting for the aliens to come, and it's the helicopters that come instead. But we're sitting there and we've built a mud mountain there, and Dreyfuss delivered his line incorrectly. Now, I'm 4 years old at the time. I can't read, but I could memorize. And the way that I got my lines, not that there were a lot of them, my parents would read the script to me. I've lost this somewhere along the way. I'm not as bright as I was then. Then I could hear it once and I just knew it. So we're doing this, and Dreyfuss delivers the line, and he does it wrong, and I corrected him. And of course everybody's like, ugh. Right? And so he asked the guy who's reading the script along, is he right? And he's like, yeah, you flipped the line. So, you know, would I do that today? Probably not. But none of the scenes were extended. It was never work. It was all playtime. When you're 4 years old, you get tired. And so I went to sleep in my pretend room and was just catching a cat nap. And so the story is that Stephen wandered in and saw me there, and they created the scene around me. And it was actually the sound guy who bumped the bed, which caused me to wake up. And so when I wake up and I sit up, and all of a sudden, imagine you're 4 and you go to sleep and you're in an empty room. And all of a sudden you wake up and you have all these grown men standing around you looking at you, and here's Spielberg kind of just go with it. So you can kind of see in my response the light of, okay, this is odd, but I'm willing to go with it, and that's how that scene developed. Yeah, the thing about The Shining, and I love The Shining, I think the book is brilliant, the movie is brilliant. Would I have liked to have been a part of it? Sure. Do I think I could have handled it? Maybe. Who knows? I didn't spend a lot of time second guessing my parents. I ended up having a wonderful, it wasn't even a career, it was a hobby. I had a wonderful hobby, and you read about so many child actors that end up fighting demons. I've not had to deal with those demons. I went on, I got an education, I have a wonderful life, and nothing but positive memories from Close Encounters and the other things that I did. Not to say The Shining would have prevented that from happening, but we would have certainly moved closer to Hollywood if we had taken that on. There would have been the next movie and then the next, and very easily it could have overwhelmed our life. I grew up playing soccer, I played t-ball, I went to a regular school, and on summer vacation I'd go make a movie. So it never became that's all that I was. I was an actor. I was just CARY Guffey who happened to do some acting. I have never seen Devil's Tower in person, and it's one of those things in my list of things I have to do before I check out. I have to go out to Wyoming, but I've never been. Whatever version leaves out the interior of the mothership is a better version. I always liked that you didn't know. It's sort of like getting to the end of the story. You know, the great thing about a book is in your own mind you get to create what it looks like. And so I like the original in that you don't know where Richard Dreyfuss is going. You don't know what he's going to experience, and you're left up in your own mind to say, well, this is what I think it would look like. And so I don't like seeing the interior. I do think that the final version that's, I think, out on Blu-ray now with the director's cut that leaves out the old and incorporates some of the special edition in there, gives a little more clarity on the film, but the least favorite is the special edition with the interior of the mothership. I didn't want to see it. I wanted to be able to imagine it for myself.
Is the door shaped like a square? No, it's shaped like a rectangle.
I kept in touch with Spielberg through major events in life. So when I was young, Close Encounters kept coming back into my life. You know, you have the original release in '77, and then you have the special edition, and so you kind of cross paths again, and then you have the 25th anniversary, and so there's another cross along the ways that we saw each other. But day-to-day contact, we didn't maintain that. Part of that was I was in Douglasville, Georgia, and then my family started to move around. But the major events in life, when I graduated high school, we actually spoke on the phone, and I was like, now what? And he's like, go get a college education. They can't take that away from you, and you've got time. So when I graduated college, I sent him a note, and he sent back saying, great, you've got the degree. They can't take that away. Try on different hats. And that was good advice. That's what I've been doing, trying on different hats. Just you try to find your way in the world. I always tend to come back towards education, whether it's working for a children's museum or coaching soccer or advising people with money. All I am is a teacher. And so that's what I'm doing. I've found what I'm supposed to teach, but it was through putting on hats. I'm CARY Guffey. Welcome to the Close Encounters location video.